Yeah. I just hit the stop streaming button. Dang it. Um, hold on. I gotta tell.
Oh, well,
Uh,
we get a bot here. Vigilant Blub Blub.
yeah. Get out of here, Vision Blub. I'm not interested in getting. I mean, I'm interested in getting more followers, but the right way. Um,
Uh, followers. I hate that so much.
I know. I mean, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. You have to deal with that no matter what website you use. Like if it's YouTube or YouTube is bad, man. They have a lot of porn bots in there, and trying to get you to go to free campsites and all this bullshit.
But
But
I mean, yeah, bullshit. Yeah, you're right.
well, I'm not talking all the websites, break, but all right, let's go ahead and get started with the news here. Let's get this out of the way, Eric. We can breeze through this, I think.
RPG news.
All right, Eric, you're up.
From RPG site, we've got an announcement for a remake of an old PS2 game called Dokapon Kingdom. And so this is Dokapon Kingdom Connect. It's going to Nintendo Switch sometime in the spring. So April 13th is the Japanese release date. Who knows what's going to be in the other parts of the world.
I remember
But
Dokapon Kingdom, actually.
from what I could tell, it's like a weird cross between Mario Party, Monopoly, and Life, and it's rather cutthroat and difficult.
Yeah.
And it will probably destroy relationships even faster than Mario Party can.
Yeah. Mario Party.
I wonder if they're rebalancing that though, so it's less frustrating,
Yeah, Mario Party was.
or so it's more fun if you're just playing by yourself.
Yeah. Dokapon Kingdom, I don't understand the need for this game. I mean, I remember it not being very good. Um, whatever. I mean, I think I might have had this on the PS2 and played very little of it. That's how much I thought of it.
I like in the press release it says, now you and your frenemies from across the globe can play Dokapon Kingdom Connect with the help of online play, because that's something the PS2 version didn't have.
Yeah. Well, and then I mean, this isn't even a remake. It looks exactly like it did back in the day. I mean, there's not much difference other than the netcode, I guess. But
I think all the code's new, so it's technically a remake.
I guess. I mean, it doesn't look any better. I didn't do anything with the character models, but there's a $10 sale on it if you get it right away. Instead of paying 60, you could pay 50 for a PS2 game. So there you go, I guess. All right. Anything else on that, Eric?
If you pre-order the game on the IFI online store, you get a free IFI trading card. That's exclusive.
Exciting. Yay, I guess. Whatever. Okay. Next story comes to us from RPGsite.net, if it ever loads here. Atelier Riza 3, Alchemist of the End, and the Secret Key delayed to March 24th. Disappointing, but it's a month, and there's an apology in order to make this.
Everything else that's coming out in February, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea too. In order to make this game a fitting finale for Riza and her friends, we have taken on challenges such as adventuring in a vast open field and graphics that express the charm of these characters to the fullest extent. So it sounds like they're giving them a.
I'm gonna go out on a limb saying the Switch version is giving them problems.
I'm gonna probably guess that too. Our team will take this additional time to fine tune the final touches so that we can deliver to all you. Blah 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 blah. I mean, whatever. A month is no big deal. I mean, at least they came out with the statement. I mean, Break and I have talked about this for years, so no big deal, right? I mean, I think we can all agree. Plus, February is stacked with games, so Break. I'm assuming you don't.
I still need to play the first two Rises.
Yeah, Break. I'm assuming that your computer's still doing its thing.
Low res mode now, so let's see if that works.
Okay, Eric. Next story, please.
E's memoir, The Oath and Felghana, dated for Japan for April 27th. And pre-orders will include a 14-track music CD sampler. and it will contain all the arranged music related to East Oath of the Felgon, which is so I'm guessing they just ripped 14 tracks from the arranged soundtrack and just threw it together in this collection.
I mean, we can never get a full-on deal, you know? I mean, come on, man.
But this is for the Japanese release, so it's not even us.
Oh, that's even worse. It's only for the Japanese release. But Ultimate Felgana, great game, right, Eric?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 14 track music CD, and it's probably what, like a.
And I'm not a particular fan of the arranged tracks to these game soundtracks.
Yeah.
Because they use instrumentation that just sounds weird.
Yeah. Let's see if we got. Hey, Freak, are you in chat still? Looks like you are. Let us know if you can hear. I had a little snafu. I stopped the stream and I restarted it, so sorry about that. Dropsnat's in there, and 01 Ella. Thanks for being in there. All right. Let's go on to the next one. Coming to us from Loading Screen, as Break likes to say. Gamatsu, Akai Ito, and Ayo Shiro. Aoi Shiro.
Man, I can't read that right now.
Yeah, I know. This was I purposely planned this to be yours, Break, but you know.
Are you in the bucket, Break?
HD remaster for Switch launches May 25th in Japan. I like the name of the corporation that announced this. Success, all caps, announced. It'll support English, Japanese, Chinese, be available both physically and digitally, and special edition, which will also include the game, the soundtrack to Akai, a drama CD, which that's kind of cool, like a audio, you know.
So this game is actually a collection of 2 games, and they're both horror adventure games.
Yeah. So this looks cool. That might be.
I'm wondering if they'll get it localized.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, Eric. Next story, please.
Because this is a game back from 2008.
Yeah. All right, Eric. You're up next.
Next would be Returnal for PC, dated for February 15th. And of course they're selling it for $60, but that's at least $10 less than the PS5 version was being sold for initially.
I know. But I mean, aren't PC games in general kind of cheaper, like $10 cheaper, anyways? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. But
pre-orders include early access to the following in-game items: Pylon Driver weapon, Hollow Seeker weapon, 1 reflex stimulant, 1 pulsing mass artifact, 1 adrenaline booster.
Okay.
And those who link their Steam account with their PlayStation Network account will unlock the in-game outfits: Astra Model 9 prototype suit and Astra Model 14 tactical suit. And it doesn't say anything about cross-save or save transfer capability, so that's kind of lame. You don't have to start over.
I never understood the fascination with clothing in games. Like, in a million years, when I was playing Nintendo, Super Nintendo, all the way up to the modern age, I never really once thought, man, it would be so cool if I could change the outfit of my character. It's like,
I think it's more of the I got tired of seeing the same character model over and over again.
I guess. I mean,
I like changing character models and outfits and stuff. I just don't like paying.
Yeah, definitely don't like pay. If it's an added bonus, I guess cool. If not, I'll just go on YouTube and watch other people play as that character for a little bit. Like Resident Evil, like the remakes and stuff have a lot of like different character clothing, and and on PC, man, they went nuts with mods. Like they had one where Jill was in like a dominatrix outfit, and shit like that is fun.
Or you could change Nemesis to look like Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, or Shrek, or any number of things that you can do on PC, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man. For me, it just was never a huge issue. Like I never, like I wasn't playing Zelda and was like, oh man, I wish I could change his outfit to look like, Mario or something. Like it just, to me, it's like so petty. Like I play the game for the game. I don't know. But I agree with you guys. If I don't like to pay for
At
that
least
shit.
the outfit changes in the Switch version of Bayonetta have function.
Yeah, they have
changes.
functionality. Yeah, for sure. And I don't. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, break.
Bikini outfits. Like why? Like why do people need to get their characters in bathing suits?
Well, I think we know the reason for that, break. I mean, that's just what I was talking about. Like watching Jill Valentine battle Nemesis in a dominatrix outfit was pretty hot, dude, to be honest. I mean, let's call a spade here. I mean, or it could go the other way with guys too. Like if you're playing as Carlos in Resident Evil, what is it, 3? I mean, shirt off, I guess, or whatever, I mean,
Make him look like Carlos from Final Fight 2. That'd be funny.
that would be
They're
funny, man.
practically the same character, anyways.
Yeah.
There's just a few minute changes.
What were you saying, break? You kind of broke up.
Put him in Zangief's outfit and give him a cod piece.
Even better, man. Even better. All right, Eric. Next story, please.
Raiden 3 Cross Mikado Maniacs is coming to the West for all platforms. PC versions added for global release. So, I didn't even know there was a PC release of this game, but it's coming too. But anyways, there's a $69.99 limited edition available for pre-order via the NIS online store.
I like that.
And it comes with the game, 2 discs original soundtrack, poster, acrylic phone stand, and a collector's box. Now, Raiden 3 wasn't exactly the best Raiden game.
Yeah.
I played it way back in the PlayStation 1. But I think apparently this version of the game does a lot. So it'd be interesting to play again.
I'm trying to watch gameplay of it.
I'm not thinking of Raiden 3. I'm thinking of Raiden Triad, but oh well.
I'm trying
completely different game than 3.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at any gameplay of it, but there's like little to no gameplay. They're basically just explaining the game.
It's just an announcement trailer.
Oh, here we go. There's a little bit. It looks kind of pretty, to be honest with you, Eric, but I mean, this is probably obviously
Raiden 4 is considered to be the best Raiden game so far, though, in recent memory.
The Raiden games are fun. They're just really difficult. It's like all those.
I've got the Raiden Aces collection of all the Raiden Aces games.
Yeah. Shmups in general are pretty difficult, anyways. The only one that I ever remember, and it's like a very basic one that I was any decent at, was that what is it, 1942, I believe. It was fun, and it was like basic, but fun nonetheless. They're all really fun. It just some of them are really hard. Like I was watching gameplay of Ikaruga, Eric, and holy shit, man! Talk about a hard but fun looking game. That one really relies on coordination, like hand-eye coordination and switching back and forth between light and dark, like black and white, type thing. And it looks fun, but just really difficult. But if you guys ever have you ever seen that break? Have you ever played Ikaruga?
Yeah, good game.
Yeah, it's a great game. Hard though, right?
Oh yeah, very hard. I like shmups a lot, but I suck at all.
I think it's an easier game than any than your average cave game, though.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. All right, let's move on to maybe something that's not quite as hard. That's what she said. From Gamatsu. Break. Veneris Tactics coming to Xbox Series, Xbox One, and Switch. So, if you're looking,
this is a game we talked about a while ago.
Yeah. Release other than soon was not announced. So, there you go. Coming soon. With no release date. And tells a little bit about it. Obviously strategy game, but there you go. Is this an old game?
No, but it launched last year in August 4th.
Okay. It does look like a retro throwback. I mean, the obvious comparison, a rudimentary Final Fantasy Tactics type game, So there you go. All right, Eric, next story, please.
Next story is Coffee Talk Episode 2 has got a release date for April 20th. I still haven't played Coffee Talk, but I'll have to look into it.
What kind of game is it, Eric?
It is an adventure game / visual novel. It's more a visual novel bent because there's not really a lot of adventuring going on.
Yeah, it looks maybe a little bit of puzzle element.
So basically, you're a barista, and then customers come in, and then you learn their background stories, and that's the story of the game, basically. Just listening to them do stuff.
I got you.
I need you to go back to my.
The most closest comparison I could put right next to it would be there's another game called Valhalla A, which is about alcohol rather than coffee, but it's basically the same thing. But that's a cyberpunk atmosphere, and this is just a normal present day atmosphere.
Yeah.
But you're like in a fantasy world because there's like fantasy creatures involved.
Yeah. It looks like that. It looks like it might have a slight, I don't know, kind of Catherine feel to me. Eric, like how you had those moral conundrums that you have to choose from, and it's kind of the same thing. You're listening to people talk.
If I give this guy a really shitty drink, he might complain, but he might also tell me his life story.
Yeah, exactly. All right, it looks like fun. I mean,
maybe I should intentionally put too much sugar in this cop's coffee because I don't want him in here because fuck cops.
Right, exactly. Maybe I should, put a little rat poison. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. All right, next story comes to us from, I'm going to do this one too, Eric. Gamatsu, Little Witch Nobeta, or Nobita, launches March 7 in the West. Limited edition, contents detailed. Just looking for a date here. So the standard edition, holy shit, standard edition's $49.99. The physical limited edition in North America and Europe sells for $129. It will include.
No.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of money. Includes a copy of the game, steel game case, compendium of crafted souls, hardcover art book. That's kind of cool. Original soundtrack CD, pop-up card, sleeping Nobita, plushie, collector's box, and an exclusive trading card. That sound like it's worth it to you, Break? I'm looking at it, man. I mean, for $120, or $130, couldn't you include a really nice statue? I mean, some
$100 game, a soundtrack, maybe a strategy guide or art book, a new controller, memory card,
a new PS5 is included with it, stuff like that. I mean, yeah, why not? Fuck. I mean, games are becoming out of control, man. I mean, I know they're expensive to produce, but god damn it, man. What kind of money do you have?
$50 is a lot of money for the console release.
I mean, they're asking.
It's been on PC since June 21st of last year. And sure, it's probably getting out of its early access period, but I'm pretty sure it's cheaper on Steam right now.
I mean, and these things don't really gain value, right? It's not like they say collectors limited editions, right? But you're not unless you leave it in pristine condition, unopened. You're not going to be making any money off of this. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to get this, you have to be a true fan of this game. And I agree with you, Eric. $49 is way too much for this game anyway, so whatever. All right, anything else on that, Eric?
The only reason that they could probably justify this because they probably had to localize the game to tweak some of the maybe grammatical errors of the PC release.
I guess.
So I'm pretty sure the game didn't have an official localization team behind it, and English isn't the first language of the developer, so
why? Let me ask you this question, Eric. Why is it so hard to localize things? Like literally, it's just translation, right?
Well, no, because then you gotta do it in a format that makes sense, and in some cases improve the dialogue so that it's actually more amenable to the audience you're trying to sell it to.
Yeah. Freak5 says Break should do DoorDash
The
to.
real question you should be asking is why is it so hard to pay your translators decent wages?
Well, that too. I mean, that's a big part of it. Break should do DoorDash to make money for a new laptop. I have made $1,000 in 10 days. Does that sound appealing to you, Breakman? $1,000 in 10
Yeah.
days?
Okay, the game on Steam currently is at $25.
Yeah, that's too much. $50. They're double the price. That's ridiculous. Break DoorDashing anytime soon?
Well, what article are you on right now?
The Little Witch Nobita launch. That's what
This
we're
is
on.
basically Lily Magician Girl Souls.
Yeah. So, DoorDash interests you at all, Break?
I'm trying to find this on here.
He's not even paying attention, man. He's like, fuck that, man. I'm not doing that, man. But I mean, it is an idea, man. Pick up a couple of DoorDashes, and eventually you'll have a little pile of money to get a really decent laptop, I guess. I think that's what Freak5 is trying to tell you, Break.
Maybe Break should do DoorDash one week so he can finally buy a PS5 or something.
I know, right? Just work for him for a week, and there you go. That would suck, though, man. Having 2 full-time jobs even for a fucking week, man. Ugh. All right, Breakman. I'm assuming you still don't have your stuff
I'm
up.
trying to do it on my phone, and I can't find the shared with me file.
Oh, it's okay, dude. I'll take care of. We'll just do it, dude. Trust me, it's easier this way. Freak5 says he got his PS5 this week. That's awesome, Freak5. Good for you, dude. Sword of the Vagrant Physical Edition for PS4 Switch launches June 2nd in Europe. Why didn't they do a PS5 version? That's really weird. Okay, but there you go. It's gonna be €24.99, which is roughly like $30. So that's not terrible. Switch version will of course have the Nintendo tax at $29.99.
Of course, Limited Run Games is going to be doing the North American distribution.
Right, because of course. All right, so there you go. That's the story on Sword of the Vagrant. All right, Eric, next story.
But like the markup isn't that much higher than the actual digital copy because that's like $10, and this is like 25-ish.
Wait a minute, the digital copy is only $10?
Yeah.
Jeez. Wow. Okay. Well, that sucks. But all right.
It does look like the stuff they're putting into the physical edition is gonna make it worth that extra chink.
I mean, it looks pretty. I mean, I will
It
say
doesn't
that.
say what's gonna be in the collection. I think it's just the game though, and maybe a manual,
I mean, think of
and maybe like a mini art book.
yeah. If you could think
and
of
a keychain.
yeah. I mean, I'm looking at it now. It sort of looks a little bit like Dragon's Crown.
Yeah.
You know, if you're into that,
It's a really good game. So,
is it a good game, Eric?
well, it's on Steam. It's rated positively, like very high.
Okay.
Very, very positive. I mean,
All right. So this is $10. You're saying currently on Steam or on PlayStation?
no, $10 on PlayStation. On Steam, it's probably even cheaper.
Fuck, $10, man. Yeah, I'll just get this for $10, man. If
I might buy it on Switch and then just buy it on PS5 right now because
I mean, $10, dude, and it does. It looks a lot like Dragon's Crown, which is not a bad thing at all. It's really, really good, actually. All right, Eric, next story.
Remnant from the Ashes is coming to the Switch, and I have to ask why.
I know. Well, that's a odd choice.
Unless they've got a good development team behind this release, the port's not going to play well because Mortal Shell tried to do that, and apparently it didn't work out so well, and the game's got issues.
Ugh.
Which is why they did a cloud version in the first place, I'm assuming.
I don't have high hopes for this, actually, Eric. So there you go. All right, anything else, Eric?
No.
All right. As soon as my thing pulls up. Here you go. From Gamatsu. Front Mission First, remake physical limited edition launches this spring in Europe, summer in North America. Are we that tied to our physical releases that we absolutely need physical releases of everything still? I mean, I'm
There's a
kind of.
market for it.
I know there's a market for it, Eric, but I'm kind of over physical releases. I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
and you keep telling us we don't care.
I care, and that's why I keep mentioning it. You son of a bitch. um. You're gonna care when there's no more physical editions left. I mean, I think it's like holding on to gasoline, like for cars. Like, really? I mean, come on, man, get with the times, guys. I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, for your games that you have to go online for in a country whose infrastructure is still completely garbage. And once you're done with the game, you can't pawn it off to somebody else.
No, and okay, that's fine, but eventually all physical media dies anyway. So, I mean, it is what it is. But let's see if there's any. There were some extras in this first mission, front mission.
And those digital storefronts for games don't have any real way for you to gift it to someone.
That's one thing I wish they would do. I wish you could gift your games to another. Like at least one time in its life cycle, you could say, okay, I'm done with this. I'm going to gift it to Eric or whatever. Here you go. But I mean,
you can't even just buy the game for someone else. You're talking about gifting something you've already bought.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But you're right. I mean, you can always give gift cards like I give to you guys. But it's not the same. I know what you're saying, Eric. Like you can't
can't exactly buy Steam gift cards either.
Yeah, so. That's true too. All right, that's it for that. You have a homie discount, don't you, Eric?
At least Steam lets you gift games to people.
Yeah, that's cool. Eric, do you have a homie discount? You said.
There's like Resident Evil sale going on PSN and Steam.
If you have
be sales on the Xbox for Resident Evil games, but I don't think all of them are available for sale.
Yeah, there's always sales on the Resident Evil games, but I guess this one's pretty good. I heard you say that Resident Evil 2 remake was like $10. It's actually really good. I mean, All right. Breakman, I'm assuming nothing in Dear Breakman this week.
No, not that I saw. Everything crashed, but
poor Breakman.
Let me look at my phone. Let me look on this Twitter account. I finally got into the news thread, by the way.
Oh, wow. At the end of the news. How convenient, Breakman.
No.
All right. Let's move on to what we've been playing.
Inquiring minds want to know.
All right, Eric. Or I'm sorry, Breakman. What have you been playing?
Do it differently for once. I mean,
no, I could probably deviate here and there, but let's go with the status quo for now.
Mostly Blasphemous. I beat it and got the second ending and playing through. I know there's 4 endings. I'm not sure if I'll be able to play through the third time if it gets even harder because the second playthrough is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh man, like you.
Yeah, the enemies hit a lot harder.
You're weaker, and the enemies hit a lot harder, like Eric just said. Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
you're not necessarily weaker though, because any sword upgrades that you've picked up come back. But like you lose your health upgrades, you have to regain those.
Well, you are, because I looked at I compared one of the enemies that I could kill in 1 hit. Now it takes me 4.
Ugh. That's a steep curve, man. Double I could see. 2 hits would be okay, but damn, 4? Wow.
Like you got stronger as you're playing through after you beat bosses, but I beat a couple bosses and I have not gotten stronger. It's like
it's not that much harder. It's just a matter of like the bosses take longer to kill.
Yeah. It's an attrition thing more than anything, I guess, second playthrough. So, anything else you've been playing, Break?
Let me see. I played through I paid to the one ending, but I was at a part where I was doing these platforming levels, and I was on like the 4th one or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized it's going to take me repetition to get through it. So it's going to take me like an hour, 2-3 hours to do this little 3-minute section.
Yep.
I just said, what? It's not fucking worth it.
Yeah.
I'm just skipping it. And I just went and beat the game. And I don't know if I'll go back and do them when I come to them again. I don't know, but fuck them.
The third ending requires you to do the DLC content, as well as fulfilling the conditions of the second ending.
Oi. Wow.
Okay. Maybe I'll just look that one up online then. So
yeah, like because it takes place almost immediately after that ending is supposed to happen.
So
and it's supposed to be a clue in for what happens to the sequel, because there's going to be a sequel.
Okay. I don't really care the story. It's a lot of mumbo jumbo religious stuff that I just don't get and care about.
Yeah.
Everybody's obsessed with suffering and pain in it, and I'm like,
so the Catholic religion. So yeah. Oh no. Okay.
So anyway, so when I was irritated with that, and I shouldn't say when I was looking at that, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I went and played something like Friday the 13th, and that's when I'd get irritated, because most games people don't finish anymore; they just quit. And that sends you back to the menu.
That sucks, man.
Time.
That really sucks.
So after some frustration with that and stalling on Blasphemous, I started playing some Cowabunga Collection.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Collection. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Like the little added things they added. I mean, all collections do, like artwork and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The games are fun, and there are a variety of different gameplay. The Game Boy game, like the first Game Boy game, is the most basic action game ever made. It's literally right attack. Stuff comes at you from right.
It's like 2 steps above a Tiger LCD game too, in terms of how it animates.
One of those old like Tiger games. That's funny, man.
But the one is improved, and the third one actually turns into like an adventure game where you're Michelangelo trying to find the other turtles, and you're going through like a maze of levels and shit, which is kind of interesting.
Hey,
cool.
Break, let me ask you, on Friday the 13th, did you get all your stats back or no?
No, I didn't get any of my items back. I didn't get my levels back. I didn't get any of my levels back.
Why? That sucks so bad, man. And there's like nothing you can do about it. It's like...
Yeah, it sucks. Miss Fran's giving me a frowny face because she was upset about it too.
Yeah, that really
you
sucks.
You should have at least been able to get your save back.
I know,
because that saves on the cloud.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Damn it, man.
Whatever.
And it's not like anybody's gonna do anything about it. I have this free-to-play game called Marvel Puzzle Quest. You guys know I've been playing that thing for years, but anytime that there's like any type of little mistake, I mean anything little, and they're like, oh, here's a few hundred points for your, and they're like significant things, it's like, okay, that's cool, thanks. I mean, I didn't even notice anything, but thanks for giving me points for that, It's like I don't know. I like when developers take care of people like that, It's like really cool, But man, obviously there's nothing going to be done with Friday the 13th. They're, shit's winding down, which we will talk about shit winding down in games pretty soon. But all right, anything else you've been playing, Break?
Back to the Cowabunga Collection. Like I said, the third one's better. Now, the original Nintendo game is still fucking hard, man. I remember watching other people play through it like it was easy, and I'm still struggling with it. Even with a rewind button, I'm like, fuck. Fuck, quit hitting me. Fuck you. Stop. Fuck. Fuck. About that. Then there's the Tournament Fighters games. Why? Just why?
Why? Just why?
The Nintendo version especially kind of reminds me of Mortal Kombat on the Game Boy. Technically it works, but the hardware is obviously not strong enough to handle anything that you're trying to do.
Also, they can't do super moves or special moves properly, so you have to pick up the special item that lets you do special moves.
Well, special moves are inconsistent as far as the button presses to do them and stuff, which is irritating. But that special ball is just so stupid. Suddenly you can do a superpower. What the fuck? Yeah. So this is one of those games that should have never happened.
Kind of so that's where the Final Smash idea came from. Oh.
So,
Yeah.
and then you have the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis versions, they remind me of the Justice League game. It's like, oh, this is such a great idea. This is such a terrible game. What the fuck?
Such a good idea, but such a terrible game.
At least the Super Nintendo version soundtrack's neat.
Yeah.
Soundtrack. Oh yeah, that's about all I can say about that. But like the other games in the collection there's a lot of good games in there. Like the arcade games, Turtles in Time. Yeah.
Also, the Genesis version pulls the bullshit at all. Well, you can't get the real ending of the game unless you play on hard difficulty.
Ooh, that reminds me of a free for all topic that we should talk about. And I'm gonna put it down so I don't forget it. It's something that I've been. Oh man, we'll get to it. I marked it down, so now I'll remember. But all right, anything else? Break.
A little bit of Carmageddon, and that's it.
All right, Carmageddon's still fun as ever, I bet.
It's a game you remember, essentially.
Yeah. All right, Eric.
Still run over people and trying to wreck other cars.
Yeah, just
You know
normal.
what?
You know,
Just a 3D now.
like GTA before GTA was GTA. You know, stuff like that. Eric, what have you been playing?
Just more Dragon Quest XI-S. I didn't get a chance to play Battlestar at all this week.
Yeah. I've been playing
It's
Marvel.
kind of hard to play games at work when you barely get time to do anything.
Yeah.
And your breaks.
That's true. I mean, your breaks. I mean, employers are getting worse. I mean, that's another topic we could talk about, I guess, Eric. But yeah, I understand, man, for sure. I did advance a little bit in Resident Evil Village. So I'm making progress. I don't know how I pulled it off. It took almost every fucking bullet that I had, but I beat Dimitri. What is her name? Mistress Dimitru or
Demetrius.
Yeah. Holy shit! Is that battle fucking hard? And then you know what? I was talking to Bernie.
The thing that makes it a lot easier is you can't really actually do any damage to her until she gets a certain distance to you.
Like close or far away?
You have to lead her to a certain point in that tower.
Oh, no wonder.
Otherwise, you're wasting a lot of ammo.
Oh God, no wonder then. I mean,
it's something the game doesn't really tell you.
I know that sucks, man. I was just unloading on her, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'll go up here, and then yeah, you're right, because I went up to the top of the tower, and then it crashed through, and then I was able to beat her. But it was really funny though, because what I said out loud, I said something along the lines of, "Holy shit, that was crazy," right? And then the achievement was, "Holy shit, that was crazy." Exactly what I said. It was fucking fun, man. It was a fun battle, but I wish I'd have known that. Then I could have saved a bunch of.
It's like when the battle
ammo.
starts, you have to back up a little bit.
But how do you know?
Because after a certain point, a certain cinematic happens. Otherwise, you're just wasting ammo.
Yeah, but how are you supposed to know that, Eric? I think that sucks about video games, man. Like, I'm sitting here unloading and I'm running out of ammo.
I was sitting there with the knife and my knife playthrough, wondering why it was taking so long, and then I remembered you have to actually get her to a certain place.
I got you. So you have to kind of lead her around that building and then up to that top of that tower. Yeah. Hey, Skodom is in chat. What's up, Skodom?
I was trying to use the stairs to my advantage to avoid most of her attacks.
Yeah.
Skodom, you can't do that. You have to make her follow you for a bit.
Yeah. Skodom, what's up, man? Nice to have you in chat. Yeah, it was a hard battle. It was cool though. It was really cool.
I think it was something along the lines of she has the same weakness that her daughters did, and they had to be dragged into the light of it.
I guess, but she was out in the light, flying around.
Mean,
so
it was daytime, but I think you're on an overhead part of the building.
I don't know. So weird, man. So weird. All right, let's move on to reviews.
RPGrinders reviews.
Breakman, do you have any reviews this week?
Yes, I do, in fact.
Oh, all right.
Remember how I said me and Mrs. Breakman have been watching things like the 101 scariest horror moments and such like that?
Yes.
we were going out and looked for some of the ones we thought were some of the better ones that we've seen on there. And one of the ones that interested both of us was The Invisible Man.
Oh, yeah. What'd you think of that?
Recommended a long time ago when it came out.
Yeah.
Don't know how long ago it came out because it's not that old.
No, it's not that old. It's a couple, 3 years old maybe at this point. Yeah. Maybe a couple.
The basic plot is a woman is trying to escape an abusive relationship. She gets out of the house. It starts with her basically escaping the house. She has to sneak out of it because her boyfriend is extremely intelligent, and he has set up an amazing security system that she has to bypass to get out of. And she escapes, and then weird shit starts happening to her. You know, and it starts getting worse and worse. And she immediately realizes that I shouldn't say immediately, but she soon realizes that it's him, and he's found the way to become invisible.
Yeah.
And he is tormenting her horribly throughout that, alienating her. He gets her blamed for murder. It has great special effects, great atmosphere.
Yeah.
Great ending. I loved the movie. It was fantastic.
Wow. Yeah.
What movie was this?
Invisible Man. Yeah.
The new one?
Yeah, the newer one. Yeah.
Elizabeth Moss, I think is her name.
Yes, and she's really good in Handmaid's Tale too, by the way.
And she's really good in this too.
Yep.
It's a strong movie. I wish I hadn't seen the one. They hadn't shown some of the scenes I'd already seen. I wish I hadn't seen them and saw them during the movie because they might have been more like,
Yeah, more
God.
impactful. Yeah.
How does it stack up to Hollow Man, though?
I like Hollow Man a little bit too.
I can't talk bad about my Lord and Savior Kevin
Yeah,
Bacon.
that's why I asked.
He was trolling you, Break.
Like 12 out of 10,
Yeah.
Where this movie's a 9, I think.
Yeah, I think I gave it that strong of a recommendation too. I think I said 8.5 or something. Break when I reviewed it, but it packs quite a punch, doesn't it?
Is it streaming anywhere?
That I don't know.
We watched it on Invisible Man. It was on Prime.
Yeah, it's
Thank
good. Scotoma says he was playing Doom Eternal, getting frustrated with being overwhelmed in the level, not enough ammo. Yeah, that game gets pretty brutal, dude, for sure.
Oh, see, that's what I really liked about Doom Eternals, how they set up like their ammo and health system. They set it up that you keep fighting, like you get ammo from killing.
Hey, this is breaking news, guys. Crosby from Crosby, Stills and Nash has passed away. That's
not really breaking news. It happened earlier.
Did it? Oh, sorry. It's breaking news to me and to the RP Grinder audience. How dare you, Breakman?
Yeah, I didn't know either.
So how dare you? But anyways, what else you been? What else you got a review for, Break?
Exists, whatever.
How dare you? What else you got, Break, for reviews?
I watched another one. I'd already seen it before Mrs. Breakman hadn't, and she is a huge fan of Tony Todd.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you need to watch this. The Night of the Living Dead remake.
Oh, yeah.
It's essentially the same tale as the original, but it's told with some differences. It has a completely, I shouldn't say completely different ending, but it has a different ending. And the character of Barbara, who was basically, she was in shock in the original movie for the entirety that she was in it, and did little of anything. Whereas Barbara in this movie is like intelligent and really equipped to deal with the crap that's going on. And the ending, which is different from the original. In the original, it was this bleak ending where everybody died, and our hero Ben is the only one who survives, and then he's killed by the police.
Yep.
Through the they just shoot into a window. They don't even see what it is. They just see somebody moving and they shoot and kill him. This one has a equally kind of bleak ending, but in a different way. And it's actually really, it really is representative of some of the shit we've seen today in present day, like with MAGA cults. In this one, she escapes, and leaves Ben behind, who's been shot by another person. So, and this one, he's wounded and he goes to hide in the basement and he's bleeding out, and she goes to get help. She runs into a bunch of rednecks, and she passes out, and she wakes up later on to find these rednecks have turned the zombie apocalypse into a game. They're practicing target practice with him, playing games with the zombies, wrestling with them and stuff like that. Like they've set up a bar and like the food stand and stuff like that. Yeah, the world's ending. Let's party. Is essentially,
Yeah.
The gun happy world we live in. It's like an excuse to finally use your guns.
Yeah.
Like this is what they have been waiting for. Like this is the gun people. This is what they want.
Yeah.
And unlike the original, there is one survivor. She does actually survive. So.
Yeah.
But my favorite part's when she goes back to the house and the guy's all excited to see her and she shoots him in the face.
Yeah. It's a good remake, actually. I mean, nobody ever really talks about that remake, but I thought it was pretty good when it came out. Break, I didn't have any major issues with it. I think even Romero thought it was pretty good, for a remake. So, so what are you giving that one, Break?
Savini did that one, right?
What's that?
The remake. I think Tom Savini did.
Yes, Tom Savini directed that one.
I give the original. I think I gave the original like a 10, a perfect score, because it's just
so good.
Yeah. I don't know what do you think I should give it?
Me?
Mrs. Brakeman.
Oh, Mrs. Brakeman.
She thinks an 8. She wants an 8.
I think that's fair, man. I think I would give it an 8 as well. I mean, it's pretty good. Have you ever seen that one, Break or Eric?
What?
Night of the Living Dead remake? He's
no,
like, what?
I haven't seen any of the Living Dead movies.
Ooh, man, you're missing out, dude.
I've been trying to find them on streaming because I want to watch all of them again.
Yeah.
I haven't seen most of them for a long time. Like I hadn't seen that remake since the 90s.
God, Day of the Dead is so good, man. The original.
I've only seen the remake recently. Like I haven't seen the original in forever.
Oh,
Also,
God.
forgive me for being distracted because I'm trying to keep myself from yelling.
From yelling.
I just read something very upsetting.
Okay, well, don't yell at us, man. We didn't do it.
I know it's not you guys.
All right.
I still want to yell.
Yeah.
I'm trying really hard not to.
What other reviews do you have, Break?
And I'll do my Stinko, by the way.
All right. That's it?
Okay.
All right. Eric, you have some reviews.
Yeah. I got a review for Batman the Brave and the Bold and the 2 Top Gun films. I guess I could also cover the Justice League because I did watch that. But maybe I should save that for next week along with JLU.
Yeah, that would be cool. Eric, time and all.
I will say this thing about the JLU. I think the JLU is shit show so far.
Wow.
Of the 7 episodes I've seen of the first season, it is not good.
The problem with the last one is they bring in all these characters, but they never establish any of them. Like,
and each episode is a single conflict, and it's resolved by the end, like a G.I. Joe episode. And there's no room for character development of any kind in that kind of narrative.
No, but the Booster Gold episode is still fantastic.
And like half the episodes are decent, and the other half of the episodes are just questionable. Like the Justice League members, the main cast, are been turned into children, and another one, Wonder Woman, gets turned into a pig by Circe. Really? and gets chased by a butcher at some point because of course.
And they kept trying to like insinuate that like Diana and was hooking up with Bruce, but Bruce didn't want to. And
I felt like Bruce, Tim, or Paul D. I don't know which is responsible, but they're having their shipping fantasies being played out in the show or something. And sure, the original Justice League cartoon alluded to this near the end, but because but then they wanted to replicate that whole hot girl and Green Lantern thing, but whatever.
Yeah. All right, so let's continue on, Eric. Let's get going here.
But Batman Brave the Bold, I felt like the goofy episodes of the JLU that I'm probably gonna see more of were the prototype template for what would be in the Brave the Bold, because you see a lot of Silver Age characters and it deals like a love letter to the Silver Age, but the show is also goofy as shit.
Yeah.
And I love it for that, but that's not what JLU should be. But this show is basically just Batman. He doesn't do solo anymore, but he also doesn't have a Robin, so he just hooks up with a random hero of the day.
There was like an episode with Robin,
and like they'll have like little tiny skits with Robin.
Yeah.
Like usually the opening sequence of the episode.
Yeah.
And but he'll like usually I don't know. This is like post JLU. Like there's a new league being formed, but it's just called the New League, and like not even the New Justice League, because I guess that thing already exists, maybe. And like I guess it's the second or third Watchtower at this point that's been erected somewhere. But do you think you'd see some Superman and Green Lantern, but you really don't. You see Guy Gardner instead, who's a big, gigantic asshole. Because, of course. Anyways, I kind of like the idea of the voice actor for Dexter's dad being Joker, though. He's like a nice blend of him and John DiMaggio and Mark Hamill thrown together. But John DiMaggio as Aquaman is pretty great.
Yeah, he is. I was gonna say he's probably either him or Batmite are my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And Batmite's voiced by Paul Rubens, which
but but the final episode of the show is just really, really bizarre because it is a parody of its own cancellation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's like 3 seasons, and each the first 2 seasons were like 26 episodes long, and the third season's only 13. But it did get darker towards around the middle of the second season, but it never really got too serious. They're willing to kill characters off.
I wrote the show off from its animation originally, but then seeing it later, it's just the animation works for the show. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much the perfect. It's the way the show is written, it's written goofy and never taking itself serious. So the art shouldn't be taking itself that seriously either.
And Kevin Conroy and Adam West had guest spots in a couple episodes. I think Adam West did Thomas Wayne in one episode, and Kevin Conroy did the Batman or whatever his name is. And the fake not Metropolis, but totally Metropolis, but it's in another planet on another dimension or something.
All right. So
and Batman gets superpowers and it gets to his head.
What are you giving Batman Brave and Bold, Eric?
I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
All right, fair enough. You have
told me back that the dude from what's that show with Drew Carey? Is it the Drew Carey show? I think it's just called that. Drew Carey show is going to be the voice of Batman. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I think he did a great job. I love the tongue-in-cheek approach to a lot of it was great.
He's he's trying his best to be like Michael Keaton, but stupid.
Yeah, it's great. He gets that this isn't supposed to be taken that seriously, and he does a great job.
All right, Eric. Let's move on to your other reviews here.
Top Gun, and Top Gun Maverick, basically the same movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
But Top Gun Maverick's, in my opinion, much better movie.
Yes.
It doesn't waste a lot of time, and the ending's more satisfying.
Yep. Yep. Totally agree.
But the only problem I have with Top Gun Maverick is that there's like 30 years of history that we don't get to learn about at all.
Yeah. That's the one unfortunate thing. They would have
30
been
something years because it's not quite 40.
Yeah, it would have been a 3-hour movie if they had to include that 30-year history, though. You know what I'm saying, Eric?
Either with flashbacks or whatever, but no, it just mentions them and expects you to know what happened.
Yeah.
Do a TV show then. I mean, 30 years gives them a long time to work with.
Yeah. I mean, they could do a series. You know.
Because like he has a new love interest that they're supposed to have a history, but we have no idea who this person's supposed to be.
Yeah. Right. All right. So, what are you giving Top Gun the original, Eric?
I'm gonna give the original Top Gun 6.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give Top Gun Maverick an 8.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, Top Gun the original is overrated in my opinion. I always felt that. But Top Gun Maverick, pretty damn good, to be honest.
It's so funny because the movie opens up exactly the same way. The same song,
yeah.
The same aircraft carrier footage, almost played exactly 1-to-1.
I know. It is funny, man. You're like,
until
is
you
this...
see the new technology and you're like, oh, so this is the new movie. I'm not hallucinating.
Right.
The good things about the original were the opening and the music.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's average break. I mean, to be fair, I mean it was fair. I mean it's it was kind of an exciting type deal back in the day with the airplanes and whatever. But and then the women obviously liked the
also,
volleyball.
To not offend people, they kind of made the enemy that they're fighting like just unknown. They just don't mention where the country origin is.
Yeah, that is one weird thing.
But based on the snow, we're gonna have to assume that it's Russia again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Bruce killed a lot of Russians over the years.
Yeah.
A lot.
Skotoma's right. He's like, the original Top Gun was made to boost recruitment in the Air Force. Yes, there was a lot of that, Skotoma, for sure.
But like the plot this time is actually mirrors the plot of Macross Plus in a way, because he's losing his job as a test pilot to drones.
Yeah.
And he needs to prove that they're still worth than human pilots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is thoughts to that. I mean, the human condition is made full of errors, right? And that's why drones would be superior, but drones can't make like last kind of second decisions to change course, which humans can. And that's pretty much what he was saying. Like I mean, I know drones are the future, but I mean, you can't replace. It's like putting robots. Imagine this: putting robots in fast food joints, right? I mean, that in theory, that's the way it's going. But nobody can replace a human, So the mistakes. Excuse me, sorry. The mistakes a human would make would not be made by these robots, but the last minute decisions a human would make, like to be empathetic with the customer, these robots are never going to do. So it is.
But before we move on, I want to go back to Justice League Unlimited and my experience with it so far. I think the two other biggest errors it makes is that its soundtrack is horrendous. It reminds me of Batman Beyond, which I was never a fan of that show's soundtrack, and it's just grating.
Yeah.
And
rock and heavy metal-ish.
Yeah, with like no real melody. It's just, let's play a couple chords. Yeah. Kids will like it because it sounds cool. But the other one is that each opening to each episode is individualized, but it just shows you clips from what's going to happen in the episode. So it spoils the episode for you, basically.
Yeah. Skotoma says, aren't the drones controlled by humans? Yes, that's true, Skotoma, but there's even AI drones now, which are even fucking crazier. And thanks for the salute. Appreciate that, Skotoma. All right. Anything else, Eric?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right, I'm going to run through mine really quickly. I did get a chance to see the movie Megan, which is at theaters right now. Pretty damn good. I'm going to give it a 7.5. I don't want to spoil anything. It's basically AI doll goes amok. It should have been a rated R movie. Is pretty much, if it would have been a rated R movie, I probably would have rated this much higher.
I think I'm just gonna wait till it hits a stream.
Yeah, at this point I would, Eric. I mean, honestly, this could have been way better, but it seemed a little restrained, and that's why I give it a little bit lower score. But it's still pretty damn good.
Do you think it's better than the Child's Play reboot?
Very similar, maybe slightly better. I did like the Childhood reboot, Eric. I thought it was pretty damn creative, if you ask me. And
Because a lot of other people didn't like it.
I know, because they were so used to the possession story and all that. But I thought it was more practical, and it worked for me. But Megan's slightly better, I would say. I do think it's a little restrained because of the PG-13 rating, but whatever. What are you gonna do? Apparently there's a rated R cut movie, cut somewhere, so like a director's cut. Compared to Ex Machina, it doesn't compare, Scotoma. Ex Machina is a great movie. I mean, it's one of my favorites of all time. As a matter of fact, I think I gave Ex Machina a 10 on the show, which I very rarely dole out. So that tells you how I feel. What's that, Break?
About robots, where does it rank compared to Small Soldiers?
Oh. Yeah, it's definitely above that, man. Okay, real quickly, Vampire Hunter D and Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. These are older anime movies, especially the original. The original's pretty damn good. The animation is dated a little bit, obviously. Story's pretty decent. It's a seminal anime movie. I mean, I really don't like spoiling anime, even if it is way older, because I like people to discover anime. But basically, it follows a vampire hunter, obviously, who himself has a secret. I mean, overall, I really, really enjoy. I think it's a seminal anime movie. I don't think you should miss this. I think at the time I watched it, I was amazed by it, and I'm still awed to this day for that movie. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. But the next movie, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, gets a 10 from me, and I'll tell you why. It looks like I'm handing out 10s all over the place lately. What's that, Break? I'm sorry, you're breaking.
I haven't watched it, but I remember Bloodlust being fucking awesome.
Yes, Bloodlust is fantastic. It's a great movie.
I remember Bloodlust looking pretty, but I think its narrative was rather threadbare.
No. You're wrong, Eric. The narrative is actually really good in Bloodlust because of one particular thing that happens in the movie.
Rewatch it again, though.
Yeah, I would rewatch it, Eric, because I think it's as close to a perfect anime movie as you can get, especially with some of the moral implications that are done in this movie. I think it's really it basically got the same plot lines as the first movie, where someone gets kidnapped, and I mean,
technically it's not a movie; it's an OVA. And I think they just stitched all the episodes together.
It works for me.
Format.
Yeah, it works for me. It's fine. It's about an hour and a half long, maybe a little bit longer. But Bloodlust looks pretty. Even to this day, it's some of the best anime that's ever been produced. It's got a great narrative. I do advise you to watch it again, Eric, because there's a certain conundrum that comes about that happens that it's morally the right thing to do, and it lets you know that this guy is solid pretty much. I do wish that they would have explained his hand a little bit more in Bloodlust. They kind of go over a little of it, but I mean, that's more for the manga, I guess. But it's
not a manga; it's a graphic novel.
So. Oh, is it a graphic novel?
And by that graphic novel, I mean it's mostly just a novel. There's just pictures that preface every chapter.
Okay. Well, I'm guaranteed the novel has way more in it that can explain a lot of that, but it's
there's
great.
14 of those novels.
Oh wow, that's a lot. But it's great, and I highly suggest if you're into anime, or just even the newer anime, and you want to know a lot of like root anime kind of themes, and especially in the horror anime genre. I mean, obviously Akira is a seminal movie that everybody should watch. That kind of sets the tone for like cyberpunk and some horror elements and stuff like that. But Vampire Hunter D is excellence in anime.
I think Bloodlust is based specifically on book 4 or 5, and
yeah.
I think the OVA is based on like book 2 or 3 or something.
I wish they would just do all of it, because it Vampire Hunter D is so good in almost every which way. I can't praise it enough. I love Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. I wished I could find.
I mean, there is a manga adaptation of book of the OVA content.
Yeah. Well, check it out. It's definitely worth your time. You can watch it for free on YouTube, which we discussed earlier. Eric, you can't find it hardly anywhere. There is a Blu-ray of it. It's going to cost you a little bit more on eBay or Amazon or some places like that. But
yeah, so the Blu-ray was made like several years ago, and it's almost out of print now.
Yeah, but if you really want to watch it, you can watch it on anime in high definition, and it is great. It's really, really good. So highly recommend. All right, let's move on to everybody's favorite segment.
What is it?
Stinko of the week.
You know what? I am going to change it up, Breakman. Let's go with Eric first on this one.
My Stinko is American Airlines. I found this on Twitter just a few minutes ago, but they promised flight attendants a free bowl of chili if they don't pick it next week. Apparently the employees are not happy with the time it's taken to get a new contract, and this is more of a, and they're basically trying to bust the union that they've created.
They're trying to bust the union with a free bowl of chili. What do they think? We're all soup kitchen recipients here? What the fuck, Eric? Are you serious?
Go fuck yourselves, American Airlines.
Holy fuck, man! It can't get any worse. I'm. If anybody takes that, as opposed to trying to get more money for themselves and their family, I don't know what to tell you, man. A free bowl of chili.
Have they gotten to the point where they understand that we're poor, but they don't understand just how poor we are? They think that we're not living in houses.
What are you saying, Break?
Tell you like a soup kitchen.
Hold on, Eric. Break. What are you saying?
That we can afford food, so they're like, here, we'll give them food. Like, come on, there's food.
We pay them so little they can't even afford food. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. They're so out of touch, man. Out of touch.
If they were thinking that though, why not just pay them more?
Just pay, pay more.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that'll cost money, so we can't. We need all.
That'll cost our executives a few $1 million here. So let's not do that. Let's not get rash. Let's not think ahead here.
Yeah, let's not get rash. You're exactly right. Don't make rash decisions here. Slow
down.
Yeah,
slow down. I mean, I need an extra yacht next year, Breakman. So
dinners and gift cards and
let's not do that. Let's
pay raises and bonuses.
Yeah, don't be rash. I mean, that's exactly right. All right, is that all you got, Eric?
Yeah.
All right,
Wait,
Break.
I thought you had enough.
Yeah, that is enough. Breakman, your Stinko of the week.
Controller?
What's that? Oh yeah, your controller died too, didn't it, Eric?
Yeah. I was watching Top Gun Maverick and I tried to turn my controller on because I don't know if there's even a way to do this, but to keep a controller on while watching a film, because it'll shut off after 15 minutes if you have it set that length. I think that's like the max length for the controller too. But when I turned it on, I realized I couldn't actually pause the movie. And I tried resyncing it. It didn't do anything. So it's got power, but none of the inputs were responding. So all the wiring for that is, I guess, shot.
Yuck.
So I'm guessing my controller hit its life expectancy because they only have about 400 hours in those things, just like the PS5 controllers.
It's so weird.
I'm surprised it lasted as long as it has, considering the amount of time I put into it.
It's so weird.
I'm more surprised than my PS5 controller, which I definitely put more time into.
Yeah. It's so weird, Eric.
It's still alive.
In all my years of gaming, going back to the fucking dark ages with the fucking Atari, even before that, I have literally never had a controller that I can think of go out on me, no matter what system it is. I had one time.
I remember my PS4 controller, or maybe my PS3 controller, like the X button would stick, and I just
Yeah.
couldn't use it properly anymore.
Yeah, one time I got there was one controller that had a sticky button, but I think I opened it up, and when I put it back together, it was okay. It's like
that one would fix my problem with the PS3 controller, because I think it really was just worn out.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
I'm here, Frank. I'm
What's
hearing
that?
that you've never owned a Mad Catz.
A Mad Catz? No, I never. Well, I did have a Mad Catz, but I don't think I used it that often. It was for the GameCube, I believe.
I was using the one that came with my Series X for my PC and Steam Deck gameplay, and I'm still using it for that. So I'm probably just not going to touch my Xbox for a while until I get my new PS5 controller, which is Cosmic Red, that I bought off of eBay like as soon as that happened.
Yeah.
And I only paid like $60 for it or something. But more than I'd like, but it's the best I could do considering the alternative is paying the full $75 for it.
Yeah. All right.
But I'm going to use my old PS5 controller until that gives out, and then I'll finally buy a new Xbox controller.
There you go. All right, Breakman.
You can use any Bluetooth enabled controller on the Steam Deck for an extra controller.
Yeah. Breakman,
I got a few.
Okay.
First, George Santos, if that's his real name, because now we're not even sure what his guy's real name is.
Jesus, really? It's gotten to that point, Breakman? We don't even know what his real name is?
Another name, he was going by Anthony something or other for a
God.
while. And when he was doing that, he scammed a homeless man with a sick dog.
I think he scammed him out of $5,000, wasn't it? $5,000 or some shit.
Them to help this sick dog, and then he took off with the loot and left the guy with the sick dog.
Wow. Is that verified story, Break?
Yeah, they have apparently backup text messages
Okay.
to show the proof. So apparently it happened. Sick fuck. What a twisted piece of shit.
It's not surprising. It's not surprising at this point.
Nothing like it's gonna come out that this guy was friends with the Unabomber or some shit. Like there's nothing surprising. You're right.
Yeah.
Dear conservatives, do you realize the party that you support is nothing but a criminal organization at this point?
Why do you guys think that I hate both Democrats and Republicans? Look at this. You see? I mean, there it is in a nutshell. What else you got, Break?
Next we have a Frank. Let me ask you something. If you went into your job and say another employee was maybe a little rowdy or something like that, and you confronted them, and they weren't hitting you or anything, but you decided to punch them in the face a few times, what would the company do to you?
I get fired immediately and probably prosecuted, and
Police officer, I don't think so, because if you go into law enforcement, what happens is you get a free paid vacation.
Yep. It's something I talked about today on my other channel. I had a really good panel with a good friend of mine named DJ K. Dot, and we talked about it, Breakman, and it's police unions. There's a myriad of problems with policing, and I highly advise anybody listening to RPGrinders, listen to that panel, because we go over a lot of stuff. So continue on, Breakman. I want to hear this.
You're right, Frank. Most jobs, they would fire you for that immediately. Like security would come and get you. Well, there's about a half hour north from me, a video of a police officer came out where the woman was kind of, she was resisting arrest. She wasn't throwing punches or anything like that. She was just kind of pulling away from him.
Mm-hmm.
And midway through, the officer just started pummeling her in the face.
I saw this, Breakman.
Ridiculous, just a ridiculous explosion of violence. They escalated it for no reason, and he was caught doing this on video. And the police response, of course, is, well, we're taking him off duty, active duty. We're sending him home, paid.
Yeah. Well, there was a cop here in Denver that shot. You guys remember me talking about this, right? Break. A cop here shot into a crowd of people, injured 5 people. And he got indicted, which is a good thing, but he's on paid leave. So, paid vacation. You shoot somebody, you're on paid vacation.
Yep, that's It's insane. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about that. It's definitely a stinko when you physically assault somebody, you shoot somebody, or do something like that, and you're rewarded for it.
Right.
The rest of us are punished, right? I think we go to jail. Right?
Yep. Yep.
So,
Punch somebody in the face, you're going to jail if you're caught red-handed and you weren't defending yourself, right? So, yeah. What else you got, Break?
well, you talked about how you hate both parties and stuff like that. I
Yes.
wanted to point out some hypocrisy that I've noticed.
Yep.
What's going on right now with COVID?
Okay.
Have you heard some of the stories of COVID? For instance, I think it was just a couple weeks ago, there were 3,400 deaths from COVID in America.
Mm-hmm.
When the pandemic happened and Trump was the president, remember when 3,400 deaths would have been a huge news story?
Yes. Yes.
This is the kind of thing that when Republicans say that there's a bias with the media, this is exactly what they're saying. It's not a major news story, that the pandemic is spiking and that thousands of people are dying weekly.
Well,
from the
look, Breakman, didn't you? I mean, you're not listening to Joe Biden. The pandemic is over, so
Right.
you're just not listening, Breakman. I don't understand you. Why do you not listen to our Lord and Savior Joe Biden?
I'm sorry, Frank.
You see what I'm saying? I mean,
Okay.
if you just listen to what the politicians are telling you on either side of the aisle, especially the president of the United States, whether it's dumbass Trump
Who's
or
definitely not a Republican, by the way.
or dumbass Biden, I mean, you would know to know your role, shut your mouth, and don't report anything. I mean, that's how it goes.
The media hypocrisy is it's astounding. Like, it's just...
And I hate the media hypocrisy on the fucking document bullshit too, because two things can be true, right? Break.
That's what's another thing that drives me fucking crazy. Two things can be true, and it's back and forth. Like, well, our guy did it, not your guy. Like, back and forth with both parties. When, there could be shitty people in both parties, because there are.
Right. Skodoma says the COVID deaths are overrated because they would count people that died from other causes, but if they had COVID, they would count it. Yes, Skodoma, for good reason, because COVID worsens all of those issues, right? Not only do you have underlying issues, but if you get COVID, all of a sudden you're dead, right? Whereas underlying issues can be treated, like diabetes, for instance, or if you have asthma or other things. If you have COVID, they're gonna, of course, Skodoma, I agree with you. They're not overrated, but they did count a lot of those people because they did have COVID. COVID is a factor in those people's deaths. So they should be considered COVID deaths, because if you didn't have COVID, you would probably survive. And there's some of that, Skodoma, but not as much as you think. Like there were reports of people being shot by guns, and gunshot wounds, and counting as COVID, but not very many, not as many as you think, Skodoma. But all right, continue on, Break. What else you got?
So yeah, like just the bias of the media, like it fuels the narrative that the media is a liberal thing, and it sends people to Fox News.
Look, this is what I'm going to tell you, Break. Yeah. If Trump is going to be tried and convicted of this document thing, right?
He's not going to be.
I know, but check this out. If he's going to be tried or indicted or anything like that, which we're still waiting, right? Then Joe Biden should definitely be indicted for the same fucking things, right? Because there's not much difference other than he was willing to give up the files, right? But look,
very much different from what Hillary did with the emails.
Yes, it's not. But that's what I'm saying. There's a big hypocrisy, isn't there? So yes. I don't care about any of these people. I want them all to go to jail. I think they all should be in jail.
Exactly. That's what we want the criminals to be prosecuted. We don't care what party they're part of. Like that's not relevant to shit like this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Look, I want George W. Bush to be on trial in The Hague. I want Obama to be on trial. I want all of them, Clinton, you name them. I want them to be on trial for war crimes. You know what I'm saying?
Like Obama and Guantanamo atrocities.
Yep.
Like,
100. 100%, man.
They don't talk about when Obama was president, but that was going on. Like that's and people would go to the right wing media because they would talk about that stuff.
Same thing like the drone strikes that Obama did that I'm not too happy about. The 7 wars or the 5 more wars he created when he began office. That's one thing, and I talked about this break that Trump did not do. He almost got into another war with Syria, but
tried with Iran too.
He tried with Iran. But he did not get us into any more wars, which is the one good thing I could take from his presidency. We didn't, and he tried to get the troops out of where we were. And I agree with him. Big difference with the documents, Freak 5 says. Trump was told to return the documents, and he kept refusing and delaying. Look, Freak, let me stop you there, okay?
I don't disagree with that, but the fact that he had the documents
for years, he had them. Freak 5 years he had documents that he shouldn't have ever had in his fucking garage. Okay, he said his garage was locked. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's not different. They're both the same. They're two sides of the same coin, and they should be treated like that. And this is why I don't like partisan politics, because it gets in the way of rational thinking, right? It's the same shit.
Are they exactly the same? No, nothing is going to be exactly the same, but they are so close to being that, that they both need to invest.
This is what I'm going to tell you, Freak 5. Everything you said is true, right? So when it comes to indictments and trials, and he's found guilty, if it ever came to that, which I know it won't, but if he was found to guilty, they should take that into consideration with his sentencing. That's what should happen. Those type of things matter for sentencing. They don't matter for the crimes that are afoot. You know what I mean? So, and it should be the same with Trump. He didn't do any of those things. He should get a longer sentence because he didn't cooperate. He obstructed and whatever. So. I just hate them all, man. They're all worthless fucks. Anyways, Breakman, anything else?
Well, no. I mean, other than our elected officials are all criminals for the most part.
Yeah. Well, that's so. The best that the Democrats can do is Joe Biden. Get out of here, man. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Yeah, and see, Scotoma brings that up too. It might be a little worse, Scotoma. I might agree with you on this because he didn't have authority. With those classified documents. Only the president is supposed to have authority.
Actually, he did. Obama made it. There was a rule Obama changed so he could do that.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification, Break. But still.
I had to do research on it because I saw somebody say that, and I was like, oh, really? And then oh.
But still.
So he could do that. But
they should have never been out of the National Archives. That's where they should have went. From the White House to the National Archives.
Access to because of Obama, the vice president has access to classified information he did not before.
Okay. Well, thanks for the clarification. So, equal playing field.
Giving more of our secrets out to people.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, both Democrats and Republicans. You guys are both worthless. So, there you go. Stinkos for me, real quickly. My sister is extending her stay for 5 more days, so that sucks. My mom's birthday present, I got her a jacket. Didn't quite fit. It was just a little too snug, so that sucked. And then the final thing is people are losing their fucking minds over the Pink Floyd 50-year logo thing. They're talking about like it's a rainbow and all this. I got news for you people. Pink Floyd had a rainbow in their original design when Dark Side of the Moon came out. So get over it. That's my.
They're supposedly they're fans. Like, no, obviously you're not fans of theirs.
No.
Like, if you don't realize that the rainbow is part of their logo, Like you're definitely not fans.
I mean, 50 years. They had 50 years ago. They had a rainbow in their logo. So
Yep.
stop with the fucking hate already. Who cares? All right, let's move on to happier thoughts, guys.
Dude, what does my tattoo say?
Sweet of the week.
All right, let's go with yours, Break.
Mine goes to Bengals. Did something they have never done in team history, and they've been around since 1969. Win playoff games in back-to-back seasons.
Yes.
Never done it before. A lot of other teams are used to doing that kind of thing, but the Bengals have never done it
Yeah,
before.
not the Broncos for the past 7 years, Breakman. But
They've done it before.
yes, they have. They've won back-to-back
Other
Super Bowls
teams
before.
have. The Bengals, it's like you've been around for like almost 50 years, but you haven't. Now they've finally gotten past that hump, and the next game will be against the Bills, who are going to be a formidable opponent. Either team, I think, can win this game.
If the Chargers had beat the Jaguars, would the matchups have been the same? I believe so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, the Bills have to play the Bengals, and Breakman. This one's going to be tough, but if anybody can do it, the Bengals can, but I think the Bills are going to win.
It's either both of these teams are good.
They're
Either
good.
one of these teams could win this game.
All that matters, Breakman, is that either the Jaguars, the Bills, or the Bengals beat the Chiefs. If any of those things happen, I'm okay with it. I just cannot handle the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl or heaven forbid winning the Super Bowl. So
I can't stand that. Who was that? Miami? Was it that got in with like 9 wins?
yeah, they got in
And
with
played
9.
like shit, like they shouldn't have been in the playoffs to
No,
begin
the
with.
Buccaneers had a losing record and made it, man. They were 8-9.
And another team that shouldn't have been in the playoffs, and it showed.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
they really need to redo the playoff structure. I'm not saying the number of teams getting in. I'm saying how that teams get in. Like winning your division shouldn't be alone enough for you to get into the
yeah,
playoffs.
you that's an accomplishment. You won your division, but hey, if it wasn't good enough, the second team in the NFC fucking East gets in or whatever. I mean, I agree. They should.
That didn't get in when these other teams with losing records got in. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's horrible, man. It's like, I don't know. I don't like that. And it's happened more times than you know. Either an 8-8 team or now an 8-9 team made it into the postseason. It really, really sucks for everything. But all right, any other Sweetos, Break?
Just imagine if that's Tom Brady's last game. Like, how embarrassing to go out in a game like that.
Oh, he's coming back next year, dude. No doubt.
Right.
He's going to be either in Vegas or they were talking about Miami, but whatever.
I don't see why he wouldn't at this point. Like, still, like, he's lost that touch he had 20 years ago, but like that was 20 years ago.
But dude, he's still throwing for over 4,000 fucking yards, man. Like dude is still got it.
Not in his prime is still better than like 20. I'd say of the 32 teams, he's still better than 20 quarterbacks.
Yeah, and if you could make 40-50 mil a year, like why not, man? Why not?
Yeah.
All right.
He used to be number 1. He's still in the top like 10.
Oh, he's no doubt. He may be in the top like 7 or 6, man. Like he's still pretty fucking good, man. I mean, I would have him on my team in a second. Like if they said you could trade Russell Wilson for a year, let's go, baby. let's do it, man.
You trade Russell Wilson for like
That reminds me,
bag
when's the Super Bowl?
What's that, Break?
February 3rd or 12th, I believe.
Yeah.
At this point, I think you traded Russell Wilson for like a new tackle dummy or something.
I think he's going to be better next year, especially if they get somebody like not Gary Payton, Sean Payton, but whatever. He did wonders with Drew Brees when Drew Brees was thought to be like an afterthought, broken quarterback, but whatever. All right.
I think Russell Wilson will be better. I think his problem was he was injured early, wasn't it?
Injured late, but yeah, he's but no, the coaching was definitely the problem, man. I mean, Hackett was just fucking awful. I mean, he wasn't even calling the plays in Green Bay. That was the head coach, Matt LaFleur, but it just didn't work, man. We needed somebody new. I wish they would have fired him like 5-6 games in, like I mean, it was pretty apparent, but he couldn't manage the clock even,
I understand wanting a guy who can't manage the clock fired. the Bengals kept one for 16 years.
I know, man. What was his name? Marvin Lewis, right?
Oh my God! Like, it was so irritating to watch him at the end of every game, every close game. Like, dude, this is not how you manage a call timeout. What are you doing?
Sconema. I know, Sconema. We don't talk sports that often, but every once in a while we get in. He goes, I don't know how you guys have the time for sports along with all the other stuff. I don't bother. Most times I don't either, Sconema, but I still, I don't know. I was born and raised in Denver, and it's like ingrained here. It's just how it is. But we don't try to bore you guys too much with it. We Eric's another one. He's like, God, guys, shut up with the sports shit.
I have time because I have kids.
Yeah, right. All right. Let's move on. Eric, I didn't see a Sweeto for you this week. All right. I finished my movie script. I don't think I mentioned that last week, so that's my Sweeto of the week. Really hard to do scripts, guys. It really, really fucking is. But except for the controversial hockey player. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, whatever. All right, let's move on. We don't have time to talk about that, Scotum. We got time for this, though. Okay, I have something for you guys. And Bernie and I have been watching the Indiana Jones movies, right? We got through the first two. We got through Raiders of the Lost Ark and Temple of Doom, right? You guys have both seen those movies, right? Mm-hmm. Breakman?
Of course.
Okay.
I've seen all the Indiana Jones.
Yes. Really good. Really fun. I don't have any issues with the movie except for one thing. Why aren't the first two movies rated R?
Because it was the 80s, and standards of ratings were really lax.
No, they're not, Eric, because a lot of movies came out at the same time or before or after had just as much gratuitous sexual innuendo or blood or violence, gunshots. At least a PG-13. Why were those movies PG? I really want to know.
Is it about the mount that was present or something?
Look. Yes, there's enough in those movies to both warrant an R rating, and both Bernie and I were watching these movies objectively, and I've seen them a myriad of times, right? I've seen them several times over, both of them, and it's always been bothering me why these movies were PG-13.
Did Lucas pay people to keep that rating or something?
You know what? I told Bernie that Spielberg must have had huge influence back in the day. And I know it's a minor beef, but and usually we complain the opposite. But look, if we're going to call spades a spade, I honestly believe those movies should be at least have consider if you were to if the whoever does the MPAA, I believe is who does the ratings, if they were to objectively look at these movies, let's say somebody put in front of them a script with no names, right? And you told them, all right, we're going to make a movie where a guy will take his hand and plunge it into the chest of another human being, pull his heart out while it's still beating, and burn him alive. What do you think the MPAA would be more likely to give that movie as far as ratings go?
I can answer the reason why is because the PG-13 rating wasn't made until 1984. That's when the second movie came out, and the first movie came out in 1981.
Okay. Actually, it was 1990 when no, you're right. It was 84, right? Because
you're looking all this up. I've been verifying it.
Okay, and then the third movie came out in 1990, I believe. Right? Break.
The
Last Crusade.
Or 90.
Yeah, Last Crusade. Yeah.
Which is why Ghostbusters is rated PG instead of PG-13, with the implied getting a blowjob from a ghost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's because PG-13 wasn't invented until August 1984.
This movie should have gotten, especially I think it was Temple of Doom, should have got a rated R rating, because there is
July 1st.
there's a little bit of nudity, because you do see nipples through a wet T-shirt, right? You see, you don't see it on screen, but you see the blood. It's definitely very bloody. A guy getting basically razored by a propeller, right? Remember when Indiana Jones was fighting with that big, I don't know if he's Russian, German guy, and he gets bladed up by the propeller. You see explosions, you see violence, you see gunshots. I think at one point Indiana
You
shoots
also
it.
see an exposed monkey brain.
You see exposed monkey brains. You see snakes. You see
Like their heart ripped out of their chest.
somebody getting their heart ripped out. You see a guy getting burned to death. You know
with a gunshot wound.
you see in the first movie you see a guy get shot in the head and blood gushes out.
Also, you get to see somebody's face melt.
Yep, Escotoma just brought it up. Indiana Jones with the melting face. Yep.
Yeah, they killed a monkey in the first movie.
Yep.
I mean,
they did in the second movie as well. The monkey takes poison and gets killed. So I mean, there is so much gratuitousness to those movies. I mean, it's a minor gripe, and I'm glad it worked out that way. I mean, who cares, in the grand scheme of things? But it's just hypocrisy. Like some movies, like Megan, for instance, they had to tame everything down in order to give it a PG-13 rating so that it could be mass consumed. I mean, it's stupid. It's dumb.
the way it shoots them seems really weird to me. Like, I don't know why. Like, what gives them an R rating versus a PG-13?
Yeah,
rating
it's really
sometimes?
weird. I was watching like a horror movie. I can't remember which one it was, Break, but the difference between it being rated R and PG-13 was like maybe, I think it was like 5 or 6 seconds worth of blood. If you linger on the blood, then you get an R rating. If you don't, you get a PG-13. And that's the difference in millions and millions of dollars in movies.
And like, you can show like breasts for like a second
Yep.
or something on a PG-13, but if you linger on the breast, it's going to give you an R rating.
I know if
you linger longer on the breast, we're going to give you an X rating.
It drives me nuts because the MPAA is so inconsistent with things. They have a set of rules, but based on, I guess, like influence, like somebody like Spielberg. I mean, the difference between a PG and an R movie. I mean, an R rating for Indiana Jones would have cut its.
Because they never reclassified it, so they kept that rating.
Yeah, it's still PG to this day, and I mean, if you guys ever watch those movies again, tell me they're not rated R material, man. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, it's just. What's
the
that?
face melting thing, like Scudama said, the face melting in the first Indiana Jones, like that was fucking freaky when I was a kid.
Well, yeah, and also like Indiana taking a gun in front of everybody, by the way, and shooting a guy in the head, and blood rushes out. Like that alone should have garnered it an R rating, right, Bernie? I mean, I'm not crazy, am I?
No, I said the same thing.
Bernie had never seen these movies, so she's like saying the same thing. She's like, wow.
How are they PG?
Yeah, these are PG movies, like crazy. I could see something like The Goonies being a PG movie, right? Because it's kind of an adventure movie along the same lines, and there's no blood.
The most you ever see is a dead body.
Yeah.
Well, the Goonies a lot of foul language though, and there were jokes about prostitution and pot use and stuff like that early in the movie.
Yeah, but you never see any of it. I don't know. Like, to me, I think if we were to reclassify, I think there's a strong argument that would make Indiana Jones both 1 and 2 rated R movies. It's crazy, man. And then you get to Last Crusade, and then it tones it down a little bit, but it's still, I mean, a lot of violence in those movies, man. I don't know. It's really weird. Some movies that I didn't think deserved a hard R rating got rated R ratings. Some movies that deserve a rated R rating don't get them. They're just not consistent, man. That was my thing. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to talk about?
Remember Showgirls? Like there was the NC-17 and the R version of it. Like
I did, and I don't. What was the
It
difference between the two, Break?
There was like an extra pull. I think the pull sex scene was a little longer or something like that, and there was a little bit more nudity in the NC-17 version.
Because I saw the NC-17 version in the theaters, if you can believe that.
I think I saw the R version on cable at one point, but I saw the NC-17 version on. I have it on DVD somewhere, or had it.
Yeah, and I think that movie's gotten a bad rap. I think it's a better movie than what people give it credit for. But you know,
I liked it, but it wasn't. They rated it like in the NC-17 and like the R. There wasn't that much difference between the two, and they considered one porn, but the other not. It just, like you said, their ratings don't make sense a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's
I need to go back and look.
That's a great example, Break, man, of the ratings just being wacky, man. But you guys have anything else? Eric, did you have anything else before we got out of here?
No.
Break, you have anything else?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, Sonic's not happy. She got up immediately. I'm sorry, girl. That's not happy. Sorry.
That's funny, man. All right. I think that's all we have time for you guys this week. We'll be back. Oh, Breakman, before we go, what were our tournaments going to be? Not next week, but the following week. Do you remember?
Yeah, it's going to be, we're going to do two tournaments. One's going to be the cutest character. The other is going to be the hottest character.
The cutest character in a movie? Is this male or female? It obviously has to be both, right?
Yeah. No, I'm going to do both. I won't gender discriminate. I'll do both, but this is video game characters.
Video game characters. Okay. I don't like the awards
cool.
they give for movies either. I agree with you, Scotoma. It's stupid. So cutest and then sexiest, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking at the differences between the Showgirls and the NC-17. I just wanted the breakdown, not like a full like description and pictures and everything. Just want to give me just tell me the difference. Dicks.
Yeah. All right. So you're saying Eric and I have to give you 10 of the cutest video game characters of all time and 10 of the, and then you have a little bit of leeway, Break, because you always do a really fantastic job with these tourneys. So we have two tournaments, 32 each, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So not next week, but the week after, we're gonna have two really fun tournaments to look forward to. There will be both men and women in there. I'll have Bernie help me with the men because, that's kind of tough for me. But the women, no problem. No problem.
Can we put Gerard Butler in?
No, these are video game.
Can we put him in a video game?
Oh, can we put him in a video game? No, Bernie, we can't.
Darn it!
Not even if he voiced the character, because he's not Gerard Butler.
I mean, we should just have a tournament of Gerard Butler movies to determine what the best Gerard Butler movie is. Bernie, you would die. That's her favorite, Gerard Butler. All right, so that's something to look forward to. All right.
As far as the differences, it's like the shots linger longer in NC-17 and the pool scene is longer. That's what I thought.
Okay. Yeah.
That seems. And there's one scene where somebody's getting hit that was edited a little bit. So there's one scene of violence that was edited, but this pool scene makes it porn. So
Scotoma says play some Leisure Suit Larry. I don't know if I would consider Leisure Suit Larry sexy, Scotoma, but some of the chicks in those games, I guess, in a cartoon sense. But we're going to determine that. The cutest, because there is a difference between cute and sexy. Sometimes they're together, but you know the difference we're going for here on video games. So anyways, all right, that's all we have time for this week. Anything else, gentlemen?
Who's the hottest Pokemon? Wait, no.
The hottest Pokemon. All right, stay safe this weekend. We want to see you back here next week. Until then, we're out. Later, everybody. Oh, thanks, Scotoma and Freak5 for being in chat. Really appreciate you guys and everybody else that was in there. I know I don't always get to you guys. O1Ella, Alicidra, Alien the Gathering, Commander Root, Drapsnat, Shanuala, and Squizzy was in here. So thank you guys so much for joining. Really appreciate it. All right, everybody. Take care. Have a great weekend. Until next week, we're out. It's Food Quest time, everybody in Twitch land and everybody in YouTube land. Later, everybody. Really appreciate you.